side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the stretching a little bit more bearable, a little bit more fun. So while we suffer on the floor together, everybody, let's get ready to have some fun. Che, welcome back. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here and being the first person to comment, like usual. Oh, if you're just hopping in, go ahead, do a little bit of warm-up, shake your arms out. I don't know. What do you guys do for warm-up? I kind of, we do the warm-up together, right? If you need something else, if your hips are extra weird, if your low back is cranky, if your shoulders ache from, I don't know, whatever else you're doing, add a little bit of that. Let's see. Che sent Go Popular. Thank you. I appreciate it. Spotlight to live on March 24th. I have no idea what those terms mean, but I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. And if you need me to click something to make that even better, then let me know. Cool. Okay, let's go. We gave a couple of seconds for people to come on in. It's time to begin. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, build a little bit of community, and hopefully suffer a little bit less because emotionally we're distracted. Okay? We're going to start with our warm-up right away. We're doing 3 warm-up exercises. The first one is called the hip CAR. CAR stands for controlled articulated rotation, and what it means is we are taking our leg and we're trying to move it through its maximum range of motion. And trying to use our own muscles so that we control it. All right? Controlled rotations and then articulated, other letter in the middle. Let's go. We're starting with the high knee. Lift that knee as high as you can, directly in front. Work those hips, that muscle in the front in your hip flexor. Then open up that leg to the side. Try to keep your hips in the same spot. All of the movement is coming from the leg itself. Then from here, we're going to rotate this ankle so it goes up and it hides behind the knee. We're rotating, we're rotating, we're rotating, we're rotating. You're going to feel a whole bunch of tension here. This muscle is contracting real hard. We're going to bring the leg down and back. From here, from the side, it's going to look like this. We're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes, we're pulling that leg back behind us. From the front, it just looks like the leg half disappeared. All right? That is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. Remember, it's all about controlling the maximum range of motion that you can. So if it's tiring, that's normal. Pause if you need to. I talk a lot and explain a lot, so you got plenty of time. All right? You don't have to keep pace with me as long as you are kind of, sort of keeping up. Within like half a minute, you'll be fine. Cool? All right, let's go. Hold on to something for balance if you need it. And high knee. Open. Ankle up. Ooh. Down and back. That's 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3. And if you are going a little bit slower right now because it's one of your first couple of times joining in, you haven't figured out the movement yet, you're still figuring out the muscle memory, just know that the slower you go, the harder it is. So if you feel like you're suffering a lot more than me, that's probably because you're going a little bit slower than me too. The faster you go, the less time you spend in the crazy position, and the less suffering you experience. I think this is 7, by the way. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 8. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. 9. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. Last one. 10. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. Your hamstrings might be feeling that contraction when you bring the leg back. Your hips might be feeling it when you're trying to rotate this ankle up, 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 up. And you might also merge it into that hamstring stretch, and hopefully your hips are okay because now you have to balance on them. All right, we're going to turn around. We're going to do the other side. Let's go. Again, hold your hand out against something if you need a little bit of support for balance. High knee. Lift that knee as high as you can. Open up that leg. Keep the hips as stable as you can. Rotate the leg so that the ankle comes up to horizontal. Then rotate some more. Bring that ankle up, 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 up. Your hamstrings are flexed. They are trying so hard to lift your ankle up and bring the leg down and back. You're feeling the stretch here in the front of the hip flexor. If you start getting hamstring cramps, that's relatively normal. Don't worry. Hamstrings are flexed. Glutes are flexed. Pulling that leg back behind you. And that is 1 rep. Let's go. We got 10 more. High knee. open, ankle up, down and back, that's 1 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 2 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 3 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 4 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 5 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 6 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 7 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 8 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 9, last 1 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back, and I think that's 10. Those are hip cars going forward. Now, if you need to, shake out your legs, shake out your hips, kick out the legs, help them relax, and we're going to prepare to go in reverse. In reverse, we're basically doing all the same main positions that I've called out, but we're going to go sort of in reverse. There's a couple other little differences. What I want you to focus on, though, is keeping your core really tight, really strong, like you're about to get punched. Nice and strong, okay? The reason for this is because instead of doing a high knee first, we're starting with bring the leg down and back. When is the first move, we tend to get a little bit excited and we go, "Wah!" And we imagine we're kicking enemies behind us or something, and we get that leg way up high. We start folding forward. We start putting a whole bunch of pressure into the low back, and that is not where that pressure should be going, all right? This is about your hips, remember? So we're trying to feel the stretch here in the hip flexor in the front. If you are get into this situation where your low back right here is starting to bend and flex, you're putting a whole bunch more pressure in your low back. So don't do that. Keep your core nice and tight. And you can hold your arms here if you want to double check that it's not going crazy and making crazy shapes. All right? That's it. Let's go. Core tight. Check yourself. Bring that leg down and back. Feel the stretch here in the hip flexor. Lift the leg directly to the side. From here, we're going to rotate that ankle up. Rotate the ankle all the way down. Lift the knee up and bring the knee forward. We are done. That is 1 rep. We'll do 9 more. I could be generous. You can do 1 rep less. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 1, 2, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 3, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 4, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 5, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 6, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 7, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 8, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 9, last 1, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 10. Oh man. That is 10 reverse hip cars. On the left side, we got 1 last hip to do. The final 25%. Shake out your legs, shake out those hips, do some hip circles, and let's get ready to go. Core tight. Check your back if you need to. Place your hands in the low back area. It might be easier for you to balance if you use that hand for something else. Up to you. From here, we're ready to begin. Back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch here in the hip flexor. Lift directly to the side. Rotate the ankle up as high as you can. Rotate the ankle all the way down. Lift that knee high and bring it forward. That's 1. 9 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 4. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 5. I'm losing balance. I'm going to lean over to the wall. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 6, I think. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. 3 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. 8. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 9. 1 last 1. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. if your hamstrings feel like they're about to cramp, if your hips right here feel like they're about to cramp, if your glutes are feeling nice and tense, those are all pretty normal. We're going to move on into our second warm-up exercise. I'm going to peek over, see if that's a comment. Nope, that is an AI summary. That is why it's so long. From here, we're getting into the elephant walks. Stretch warm-up exercise number 2. What I want you to do is fold at the hips so that you get into this L shape. All right? If you're relatively new to this and you can't get quite as deep as an L shape and you're a little bit higher up, that's okay. It's part of the process. Focus on bringing the belly button down. All right, if you have a tight low back, or if you're just generally a little old and achy, your low back might be tight. Try your best to relax. Exhale. Hopefully, that tension in your back is starting to go away a little bit, and you're starting to feel more of a stretch in your hamstrings. Take a couple seconds more. Relax and breathe. Drop that head, drop those arms. You can round the back. It's okay. When the tension starts disappearing from the low back and you're starting to feel it more in your hamstrings, try to straighten out your back a little bit more. When your back is straight, you got a little bit more leverage. You feel the intensity of gravity pulling down a little bit more than if you were rounded like this. And so we want to keep it relatively straight. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? From here, we are going to add a little bit of movement in. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other. We're going to fold that belly button down as much as we can with that relatively straight back. And we're going to keep on switching from side to side. Left and right and left and right. If you are doing this right, you should feel it in the hamstrings, right? But you might also feel it in your glutes. Oh, that is probably because your hamstrings turn into tendons, and those tendons connect into the very bottom of your pelvis. When you're folded forward like this, the bottom of your pelvis is literally just the underside of your glutes, just beneath your butt cheeks. Oh, so if that's what you're feeling, that makes sense. You might also be feeling it a little bit in your calves, and maybe even in your toes. Maybe your toes are feeling a little tingly, a little burning or lightning, shocky sensation. Those are often related to nerve stretching, nerve gliding, nerve flossing. Those are all words for making sure your nerves slide in around your body, and it sounds crazy. You should go Google that and see what that means. But for the most part, you should be fine. All right, we're going to keep going. If it feels like these got a little bit easier, you can fold a little bit deeper now than before, and it isn't so bad as compared to when you started. Focus on bringing that belly button down a little bit more and keep going. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You know, I realized that I always say if they feel better, you should bring your belly button down more. But I never say what to do if you don't feel better, because I just assumed you are better. If you don't feel better, you can keep going same as before. All right? We're done with part 1 of warm-up exercise 2. That is a really confusing way to call that move. But the reason we called the next thing part 2 is because we're getting back into that same position we're just in. We're bending one knee, we're straightening out the other leg, and we are folding forward. From here, I want you to take the arm of the bent leg, reach across the body, push against the outside of the straight leg, and I want you to open up your chest. I want you to rotate your spine. I want you to extend the other arm into the air behind you, over your shoulder. I want you to rotate your neck, so you're looking at that hand over your shoulder, and I want you to reach as far back behind you as you can. And when you feel like you can't reach any further, I want you to take a small breath in and exhale. On the exhale, see if you can reach. That's half of a rep. We gotta do 5 of these in total, so let's go ahead and get to the other side. Other knee is bent. The leg that was bent is straight. Reaching the arm from the bent knee side over to the straight side and pushing against that shin, opening up that chest. Looking at that hand, breathe and reach, breathe. That is 1 rep. We got 4 more to go. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, open, breathe. And other side, bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open, breathe. That is 2 reps. We got 3 more to go. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. open. Ooh. Breathe, 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 breathe. Oh, other side. Keep on opening things up. Breathing, relaxing. And that is 3 reps. 2 more. Open, 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 open. Look over that shoulder. Your neck is also rotating. Breathe. And other side. I talk fast. I tell you a lot of things. That does not mean you have to move really fast. If you're feeling a sharp pain or a sensation in your back that feels really bad, that's a good reason to stop. For most people, you should be able to rotate the spine. You should be able to reach a little bit further each round because we're only doing 5. So if you know you've got issues, take it nice and slow and gentle and see if you're able to do it. If you know you've got serious issues, maybe skip it altogether. And if you're feeling perfectly fine doing these, then keep going. All right, last one. Open, 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 open. Breathe. Other side. That is 5 thoracic rotations. If your shoulders are feeling real tired from reaching back behind you because they never do anything like that ever in your normal life, that is pretty normal. Luckily, we don't have anything else to do with the shoulders, so we can move on into our 3rd warm-up exercise. We are doing some Cossack switches, all right? I'm gonna demonstrate real quick. You don't have to hop in, you don't have to copy just yet. Cossack switches look a little bit like this. We're opening up our legs decently wide. We're sitting deep into a squat on one side, and the other leg is basically doing a side split already. Then we're gonna switch to the other side, shift our weight all the way over. We're gonna pause here, we're gonna breathe, we're gonna squish a little bit deeper into the stretch, and then we're gonna come back. That is one Cossack switch, once to the left and once back to our starting position. It's gonna be really hard for most of us to get our ankles, our hips down in that position. So let's warm up by doing some deep squats. Like I said earlier, this position is basically just a deep squat and a split combined, right? So bring your legs together, get into that deep squat as deep as you can. For most of us, you'll probably need a little bit of help. So lean forward, shift your weight forward so that your heels are coming just a little bit off the ground. Pull your chest to your knees and try to relax and sink into this position. The reason why I tell you not to put your heels down is because most people will struggle staying balanced and just fall out and fall backwards. If you are backwards, you're not getting the stretch, right? So lean forward just a little bit, pull your knees to your chest, and if you happen to have great ankle flexibility already, you can sit back on your heels if it doesn't mess with anything. If you can't, lean forward. Cool? All right, now that you've hung out here for a little bit, while I was explaining why you might fall backwards, let's add a little bit of movement. I want you to shake your hips from side to side. Just add a little bit of gentle movement into those hip joints, into the knees, into the ankles. Warm them up so that when we start doing the Cossack switches from side to side, your legs won't be nearly as shocked. All right, keep on squirming, keep on moving, nice and gentle. And we're about ready to get into our Cossack switches. But there's something else I have to tell you. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to practice the #1 quality consistency, because you can have the best plan ever, but if you don't follow through on the plan, if you don't put in the work in, it's not gonna be the best plan, right? So if you need a little bit of help practicing consistency, if you want to work on your hip mobility, you work on your side splits more regularly, this is the place to be. We are live every day, Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I guess the weekend's coming up. So we're also live Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. So go ahead and come to those. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. And if you haven't decided if you like the live enough, then we got a whole bunch of other stuff. This is literally there's a 3rd warm-up exercise. So we got a whole bunch of show left for you to make a decision. Let's go. We have squirmed and shaken in our little weird hip position for a whole bunch of time now. Let's get into our 3rd and final warm-up exercise. What I want you to do, I'm going to get to like far to the right side or left side of the camera so that I can squish from side to side. You don't have to move. From here, if you're hugging your knees this whole time, I want you to stick your hands straight down into the ground right beneath you. If you can, maybe lean forward just a little bit so that you're not falling backwards, all right? From here, we're gonna extend one leg out to the side. And we're going to get into our final form, our final position. This heel, I want you to bring down to the ground, all right? When you're switching back and forth, you're shifting your weight, there's a lot of balance work, a lot of stability work. So I want you to bring this heel down to help you maximize your stability, all right? That's it. Get into the deepest position that you can get with the heels down. For some of you, that might mean you can drop real down deep into a crazy position. For some of you, that might mean you have to be a little bit higher up. Whatever it is, it's fine. And once you're there, we're ready to go. Our next step is to bring our hips across to the other side. If you're higher up, it might be a little bit more easy. If you're lower down to the ground, it might be a little bit more difficult. One way to make it a little bit easier is to put your hands down on the ground and help walk your hips over. Once you get to the other side, I want you to really sit into that stretch. I want you to try to get as small and compact as you can. Feel that stretch in your hip. Feel that stretch in the front of your ankle, and then come back. That is 1 rep. I've done probably like 3 of them while explaining that that's 1 rep. So we've only done 1, okay? From here, we have plenty of information to get started, so let's do 10. Squish, heel down, use your hands, support yourself over, squish, come on back. That's 1. Keep going. If you realize you don't need your hand for balance anymore, you're super strong, you can stop using your hands. If you feel like that's still easy and you're a total badass, you can start sitting up a little bit straighter. When you sit up a little bit straighter, it's going to shift your center of balance a little bit, and your low back is going to start working a little bit more. And I think this is number 4. Keep on going. You can extend your arms out in front of you to help counterbalance now that you're not leaning forward as much. I think this is 6. And keep going. Come on back. Sink into that stretch. Get deep. If your knees, the inside of your knees, are getting a little bit achy while you're doing these transitions from side to side, you can make this a little bit easier on your knees by focusing on coming up a little bit first, coming across, and then sinking deep into that stretch. All right, so again, up, across, and down. That takes off some of the pressure in the in-between stages and makes it a little bit more chill. I have no idea how many of these we've done. I feel like this should be about 9, so we'll do one last one. Back, over, and down. Oh, that is 10 Cossack switches. Whew. We have just finished our whole entire warm-up. If you're joining in for the first time, you're like, that's just the warm-up, that's crazy. Don't worry. This is a stretching show, and we're going to spend a whole bunch of time stretching, but before we start stretching, we need to make sure our muscles are warmed up and we're all on the same page so that we can get the most out of these stretches. So what I mean by that is the cardio stuff is over, and now we just sit down and we suffer in our stretches. All right. The first stretch that we're going to do is going to have you on one knee. All right. And it is a hamstring stretch that looks a little like this. I recommend you go grab a little bit of something to pad that knee. If you have an exercise mat, great. If you have a yoga mat, you can fold it up a couple times, stick it on your knee. If you have an old towel, dirty laundry, you can roll that up, stick it under your knee. Anything with a little bit of cushion will do. In the meantime, I'm going to come over to the chat and see how things are going. Out here, Olivia says, my hips feels too tight. Che says, YouTube name is the same as this one. That is great. Greta M. Wad says, wow, you're in great shape. Oh, thanks. I'm going to scroll up real quick and see what else I can answer. That's the warm-up. I knew it. I knew somebody would say it. Thank you for humoring me. What about our hip joint? What's going on with the hip joint? Are you asking when we're going to do more stuff for the hip joint? Because there's a whole bunch of hip stuff coming up in like 10 seconds. Lisa asked about a YouTube channel. There is indeed a YouTube channel. If you can't make the lives, all of the lives are recorded on YouTube. And the username is @splits on the side, so the same exact username as on TikTok, if that is the platform that you're viewing this from. And we post them every single day. There's a couple of times where the internet is all funky and weird, so there's no video recording for that day because the phone just basically quit. But for the most part, I think like 99% of the lives back about 5 or 6 months at this point are all live on YouTube under a playlist called Live Sessions. So you can go check those out. All right, that's enough. Let's get into some hamstring stretches. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is drop our knees down onto the ground. And you want to do it with both legs for a second, just to see what your hips look like. All right, I want you to look down. I want you to see that your hip is to the left here, your other hip is to the right here, and we want to maintain this orientation for the duration of the stretch, right? I already talked about this earlier. We're extending one leg out in front of us. If you're immediately off balance, you're like, ugh, you can widen the stance a little bit to help you stay stable. That's totally fine. Just don't go, way out there until you're doing a side split. Cool? From here, we are folding our belly buttons down to that thigh. Try to keep the back relatively straight because that will make your big head feel heavier and that will help pull you all the way down. If you're already rounding like this, gravity isn't going to work as hard. It's going to still be tough. It's just gravity won't be hurting you as much. From here, we're done. That's it. That's the whole stretch. But if you get really excited and you stick one leg way far out, like you're doing a front split or something, and the other hip is way back there, your whole body starts rotating sideways, and you're adding a whole bunch of different variables that make the stretch less intense on the hamstrings and maybe more intense on the hip flexors. That's not what we want. So pull that hip all the way in. We're working on our hamstrings. All right? I'm going to rotate around so you don't have to stare at my head the whole entire time, or just the top of my head the whole entire time. And we're ready to begin. Fold the belly button down. Oh, man. I went a little too fast. I have an old hamstring injury on this leg, so this leg is always a little bit more rough, and I start with this leg. Once you have folded forward a little bit, you're feeling the hamstrings tighten up. I want you to just breathe and relax. Get lazy. It's okay. We are trying to let the muscles in the leg relax so that we can fold a little bit more forward. And if you intentionally breathe and on the exhale, you intentionally try to flop down and relax as many muscles as possible, that should help. Once you've done this for a couple of seconds, we're going to add in some very intentional inhaling, exhaling, and folding deeper into the stretch. So we're going to get deeper into the stretch than where we're at right now. Okay? What I want you to do is take a big breath in. Inhale. On that inhale, I don't want you to inflate like a balloon and then suddenly come back into standing. I want you to try and keep yourself in the position that you were in. All right? You can relax. We're going to do another inhale later. When you're ready to exhale, you can exhale slowly. And while you exhale, I want you to really focus on bringing that belly button down into the ground and fold forward. Okay? I think that's all the instruction I got. So let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Drop that belly button down. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. And stop working so hard. It's time to relax. Breathe. If your ankles were working real hard, flexing your foot or something, relax those toes, relax the feet. Try your best to relax the calves. All of the stretch is coming from the hamstrings. If your hamstrings are so tight you can't move, remember, we're still breathing, trying our best to chill. If it's really intense, you can stab your fingers into your hamstrings, massage them, distract your brain from the stretch, and now focus on relaxing the low back. Relax the glutes. And when you're feeling a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comfortable in this position, it's time to suffer more. So we'll do one more inhale, exhale, fold. Y'all ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Now we are in a deep stretch. Stab your fingers into your hamstrings, massage them, poke them, squeeze them. Distract your brain from how intense that stretch is. Relax your muscles in your calves, in your toes, in your feet, in your hamstrings, the best that you can. They probably won't do anything, but, try. From here, we're holding for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. Keep on breathing. Don't hold your breath. Imagine that you're relaxing deeper into the stretch. Imagine that there's a nice little arrow pointing out of the tippity top of your head and you're trying to point that straight out in front. I don't even know what I'm saying. Just imagine your spine is getting as long as possible and is going that way. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Keep on trying to bring that belly button down a little bit at a time. Feel that stretch in your glute, in your hamstrings. 16, 15, 14, 13. Exhale through your mouth. See if you fold just a little bit deeper when that air goes away. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is enough. Oh, that's the hamstring stretch. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Slowly come back out of this stretch and breathe. Oh, man. Okay, well, that was one leg. We got another leg. So come on back. Stay focused. I know it was intense. We got the other leg to do. Drop those knees down. Check out your hip orientation. Keep them in the same spot throughout. Extend the other leg. Widen the stance for balance. If you're off balance, if you're not, keep your legs in the same place. And let's fold. Belly button down. Whee! Oh. Oh, man. Now, we're here. We're folded forward. Breathe, relax, chill, flop around. Relax. Breathe in and out. On the exhale, see if you fold just a little bit deeper into that leg. And relax those calves, relax those feet, relax those toes, relax those glutes, relax the low back. Slowly work your way through each of those muscles and try your best to relax them. Be lazy. All right, it's time. It's time to do the inhale, exhale, fold. I hope you're ready because there's nothing else to do. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. We're in a way deeper hamstring stretch. If your calves are tingly, if your toes are tingly, relax them, massage them, wiggle them, move them, and hopefully you can relax. Let the low back go. Let the hips and the glutes go. Your hamstrings probably will not go, but you can try that too. Breathe. Get loose. Flop over. As you breathe, this is not like we're taking big breaths in and out. You don't have to breathe fast, so make sure you're not hyperventilating or anything crazy like that. And yeah, I think that's it. We got one more inhale, exhale, fold, and we'll be done. Ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. We are deep in that hamstring stretch. And we're breathing. Trying to relax. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30. 29. Relax those toes. Move them around. Squirm if you want. Relax those calves. Flex your feet, relax your feet, flex your feet, relax your feet. Let the hamstrings go if you can. Crazy idea. Put them in a crazy stretch and then be like, hey, just relax them. Yeah, okay, Ken, thanks. Let your glutes relax. Deep sigh. Let out the tension. I forgot to start counting. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. You can run a little experiment now. See if you can straighten out your spine. Get into a nice straight back. Flex those back muscles a little bit and see if it feels more intense or if it feels less intense. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. Come on out of that stretch. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our hamstring stretch. We spent a lot of time preparing this hamstring stretch, getting us into the deepest possible hamstring stretch that we can for a bunch of reasons. One of them is because the rest of our show requires a whole bunch of hamstring flexibility, so we try to really get there from the first one so that you're not figuring out other moves while you're figuring out your hamstring stretch at the same time, because that sounds like torture, and I'm trying to make the suffering more bearable and not make the suffering worse. All right. The other reason why we spend so much time in the hamstring stretch is because most of us spend way too much time sitting every day, and our hamstrings are probably tight. So I hope that over the course of the last minute or two, while we were slowly breathing, relaxing into that hamstring stretch, you realized that that little bit of what you think is your normal amount of hamstring flexibility is not remotely close to what you're actually capable of. And if you spend some time warming up, you spend some time chilling in that spot, relaxing, breathing, you are capable of so much more. And that is also a reminder that before you go do really cool stuff that you see in quick YouTube videos on the internet, warm up. You'll be able to do way cooler stuff after you've warmed up. Okay? Take 2 minutes, warm up, and with that, I think my little spiel is over. Let's get into our second stretch. The second stretch that we're going to do is called the butterfly stretch. I'm going to sit on this foam mat because it adds a little bit of friction, a little grippiness to the floor for me. You do not have to sit on anything. You can sit right on the floor, right on the carpet. All right? I recommend that for the butterfly stretch, you bring your butt up against the wall, your shoulders up against the wall, your head up against the wall. So that you got this nice straight posture. From here, to get into the butterfly stretch, we're going to bring our feet together. We're going to pull them in towards our groin. The purpose of the butterfly stretch is to stretch out the groin muscles right here in the middle of your legs. All right? The way you do that is by bringing your knees down into the ground. So focus on using your outer thigh muscles. Focus on using your glutes to help open up those hips. What we are doing looks a little bit like this. We're just grunting and groaning and going, ah, and trying to open up our legs. If you don't have enough control in those muscles, if you're not that strong in those muscles, or if the other muscles up here are way too strong and you can't fight them, that's okay. As long as you're trying, you felt your knees go down just a little bit, and you're feeling the stretch here in the groin, you're doing good. All right? From here, we're going to add a little bit more to this stretch. We're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little pressure under our knees. All right? When you push into the legs from here, you're going to start feeling a whole bunch of pressure in your shoulders, in the back of your head. That's because your hands are pushing your legs down, but your shoulders are also pushing your shoulders back into the wall. And that's why we're sitting in front of the wall, so that you can only go so far back, but your legs can definitely go down into the ground. That's it. We're holding this. We're breathing. And we're trying to sink our legs deeper, or sink our knees deeper into the ground. All right, 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. You can totally relax those muscles I told you to flex earlier in the glutes, in the outside of the leg. Relax them completely, and then push your arms a little bit deeper into the ground. See if you open up those hips even further. And once you've opened further, try to flex those muscles, contract them again. Flex those glutes, flex those outer thigh muscles, pull your knees into the ground. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, you can let the hands go. Your wrists are probably a little bit tired from applying all that pressure into your legs. You can let them flop. Just shake them out a little bit. From here, hopefully, your legs have not come up all the way back to the starting position. They've kind of ended up somewhere in between. You'd be like, oh, hey, look, this is what my normal could be one day. We'll get there. From here, I want you to flap the wings of your butterfly stretch, okay? If your legs are super tired from that contracting, the pulling your knees down in the ground, they're not moving very well, you can give them a light shake. That should wake them up, and we'll be ready to move on into stretch number 3. It is called the standing pancake. Oh, you can get rid of the foam, you can get rid of the padding. We are not going to need that for a little bit. Let's get into some standing pancake. What I want you to do first is open up your legs decently wide, okay? And it doesn't have to be crazy, but if you really want to aim for a specific number, 90 degrees is a great number to aim for. From here, if you are feeling a whole bunch of pain in your hips, if you've gone too far, bring your legs back just a little bit, all right? 90 is just a ballpark. You don't actually have to be there right now. From here, we're folding this belly button right here down towards the ground. Whee! This is our starting position. From the side, it looks like this. All right? The goal of the pancake stretch is to fold our whole entire upper body in between our legs and, go like this, become a pancake. That is really, really, really hard. So we want to use gravity to help us as much as possible. The way to get gravity to help as much as possible, or to make the most use of gravity as it exists, and it's not actually a person, is to keep that back nice and straight, keep it nice and horizontal. And if you want even more pain and suffering from gravity, you can extend your arms up past your head so that your biceps are by your ears on both sides. And if you just go breathe and relax a little bit, gravity will pull you down into a nice deep stretch. If you want a little bit more assistance from gravity, you can hold on to some weights, you can hold on to a water bottle, you can hold on and extend those arms, and that will make your stretch hard. If you're a masochist, you can go ahead and do that. If you're really strong, you can go ahead and do that. You don't have to do that. All right? While you're folded forward, you got the option. If you feel like it, you can open up that leg stance, go a little bit wider if you want, and continue to fold forward. All right? That's it. We're set up. Now, get into whatever arm situation you want to. Focus on bringing that belly button down into the ground. Fold forward, fold forward, fold forward. If your face feels like it's about to smash into the ground, stick your butt back a little bit. Maybe extend your arms out in front of you to help counterbalance. And it brings your upper body a little bit more closer to horizontal. Win, 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 win. Cool? That's it. That's actually it. This time we're finally done. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Oh, push yourself out of that position a little bit. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. You can always make as many sounds as you need. From here, if you're feeling a little bit stuck, I recommend you sort of wiggle your heels in together a little bit. Wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, until you kind of sort of come back into something that looks like you're like an old man with a cane. And as you slowly come back into standing and squirm and waddle like a drunk penguin, hopefully your muscles wake up again and you can start moving around. That is our third stretch. It is our standing pancake. All right. Usually I go on a big long explanation about the standing pancake, but I'm trying to bring the show down to a more manageable size. We've been hitting nearly 100 minutes pretty frequently, so I'm gonna dial back and we're gonna go right on into our fourth stretch. It is either the pigeon or the figure four. Both those stretches look a little bit like this. We are bringing one leg across the body towards that knee. We're lifting that leg up towards the chest. We're bringing the belly button down towards the leg so that we're in this position. All right. From here, I want you to feel the stretch in the glute. You might also feel the stretch underneath the leg, in the hamstrings, and in the front of the hip flexor. Okay. Depends on how flexible you are, what muscles are tight, what muscles are weak. But whatever the case, those are where you're supposed to feel the muscles. We got two options. If you're a regular, you know exactly which one you like. Go ahead and jump into that. I'm pretty sure we did the figure four yesterday. So we're going to do the pigeon today, okay? I explain one move per day so that we don't spend all the time just explaining moves. We get into the stretches, okay? We're going to do the pigeon stretch, and it looks a little bit like this. We're going to bring that leg into this situation, but we're going to drop to the ground, all right? And it looks a little bit like this. While I'm facing you, leg is coming across the body. We're trying to aim sort of this midpoint of our body, midpoint of our chest, down to the midpoint between the leg. We're just trying to match those lines. Fold forward. You might immediately feel a really intense, crazy stretch, and that's great. It's a perfect place to start. This back leg over here can be bent and just be chilling off to the side. You can let it do whatever you want. But a lot of people like to get that pigeon leg all the way back in a more sophisticated, advanced form of the pigeon. And if you'd like to do that, go ahead and stick the leg all the way back. If your hips, right here, your hip flexors are a little too tight, you can't get into that position, we got a couple of options for you real quick. That is, you can be super lazy and just flop really far forward. When your body is in this laying down sort of position, with the leg being a little bit weird, you don't have to put as much effort into the stretch here in the hip flexor, and it's easier to keep the leg going straight back, right? The other alternative, if that does not work for you, is to elevate your front leg. When you elevate the front leg, the hips come up a little bit off the ground and gives your leg a little bit more room to get underneath. So that's your second option. All right, elevate the front leg. You can use a couch, you can use a bed, you can use a chair. It doesn't have to be a tiny yoga block. You can lift your arm, you can lift your leg up way high. Cool. All right, let's go. Leg is across the body. Aim in the midpoint to the midpoint. We're folding forward. Fold, 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 fold. Extend the leg back behind you if you'd like. And breathe. Bring that belly button down towards the ground. Everything's about the belly button. It's always going to the ground. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. Breathe. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. As you exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. 13, 12, 11. Remember, you're trying to bring the belly button down into the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7. If the stretch suddenly feels super easy for some reason, take your ankle and push it towards your face. Push your foot towards your face. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon. We're going to switch over to the other side. Let's go. Bring the other leg across. Throw that other leg back if you need to, if you want to. Again, you don't have to. Fold forward. Keep the hips low to the ground, as low as you can. We don't want your head to be down and your hips to be up. We want your hips down and then you fold forward. Again, if your stretch doesn't feel super intense, push your ankle up towards your face and that will make everything way more difficult. 30 seconds. Let's go. Breathe. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. As you exhale, try and sink that hip deeper into the ground. Feel that stretch. Feel those crazy muscles getting pulled. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. You can experiment a little. You can try to straighten out your back and see if that changes the stretch, makes it more intense. You can relax your head down into the stretch, see if that makes it more intense instead. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on up out of that stretch. That is our pigeon stretch. And that is our fourth stretch. I've already said this a couple times, but I guess it's been a while. I said this real early in the beginning. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully to make suffering in our stretches a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, so we actually do them and we actually practice consistency. If you like the show so far, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We go live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And this is a show where we work on the side splits a little bit, right? We did a lot of hip stuff already. It's time for some side splits. The way we do side splits is we do 3 rounds of 30 seconds. So it's a little bit different than everything that's come before. In between each of those rounds, we try to shake out the tension in our legs as much as possible, get loose, get relaxed, and then get back into more sets of those stretches. So let's do it. Come on up into standing. Let's talk about safety real quick. I want you to stand 8 to 12 inches in front of a wall. For most people, that's 1.5 footsteps in front of the wall. I want you to open up those legs pretty wide, and I want you to be able to rest your butt against the wall. All right. The reason why this is important is because oftentimes when we get into that side split, our legs are wide, our hands are down, we're wiggling, we're squirming, we're trying to get lower and deeper into the stretch. At some point, it is possible you'll lose balance while shifting your weight around. You'll fall backwards. If you have the wall right behind you and your butt can touch that wall, you'll be totally fine. Nothing will happen. If you were not facing the wall and your butt was just chilling and you lost balance, you'd be like, oh man, and that would really hurt your butt, just like it really actually did. I was not planning to fall that hard. Oh, okay. Anyways, it's fine for me. I was pretty low to the ground, but if you're higher off the ground, that might hurt a little bit more. Okay, so don't do that. Stand in front of the wall. Have the wall protect your butt. Cool. All right. From here, we're ready to get into some stretches. I want you to open up your legs as wide as you can. Go, 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 go. When there is pain, pinching, discomfort here in the hips, bring your legs back. All right? It doesn't have to go that far. From here, we're going to fold, bring this belly button down into the ground. Whee! This should look exactly like how we set up the pancake, because it is exactly how we set up the pancake. But we're going to take this another step further. We're going to take our hands, we're going to put them down in the ground. Give them a little bit of support. Okay? From here, we're going to do the most important part of the stretch. We're going to rotate this leg. By the way, where's my stool? By the way, if you cannot reach your hands down on the ground, you can use something to elevate your hands. Blocks, textbooks, chair, stool, anything will do. I'm going to actually keep it here so that I can show you that I'm using one. From here, we're doing the most important part of this entire live. We're rotating this leg back behind us 90 degrees. So that we can get the bones to not smash into each other so they don't hurt. And then all we got left is muscles to stretch. All right. So what we're doing is we're taking this foot from this flat position. We're rotating it back so that the heel is down, the toes are up, the knees are pointing up. And we are doing that on both legs. Once you've done this, you rotated your thigh bone so it doesn't smash into your pelvis. And now all we got left is the suffering of our muscles. So once you've done both sides, I'm going to scoot over a little bit so you can see that the other foot is also pointing up. We're in a side split. This is it. This is the position. This is what we've been working towards, everybody. You are here. Now, get a little bit deeper. Do a little wiggle from side to side. See if you can push those legs out just a little bit further. If you're using something to support your hands, great. It might make things a little bit easier, a little bit more chill. You can, of course, do it without anything to support you. You might be on your tippy fingers, fingertips. There's a word for that. I was going to say tippy toes, but clearly that's not the right word for my fingertips. All right. From here, once you're done a little bit more wiggling from side to side, we're in position. This is it. This is everything. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28. Just like before, we're trying our very bestest to relax. So breathe nice and slow, nice deep exhale. That was a little bit of an exaggeration. You don't have to sound like a dying donkey. Where we're going with this? If your toes are still flexing real hard, trying to point your toes up into the sky, you can relax those ankles a little bit now. You can relax those calves a little bit now. You can relax your glutes, your low back, everything that you feel like might be slightly tight, or maybe you don't even know is tight. Try your best to relax. Go through them one at a time. Toes, are you relaxed? Kinda. Feet, are you relaxed? Kinda. Calves, glutes, low back. Great. All right. I don't know how many seconds we got left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Add in a little wiggle whenever you can. See if you can get just a little bit deeper. 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, we're done. Walk your hands forward. Grunt, groan. Bring your knees in. Make as many sound effects as you need to. It helps. It does. It really does. Squat, kneel, sit, whatever you want to do for half a second, and then we're going to start shaking out our bodies. It's probably been more than half a second. Come on up. When you're back standing, we're going to start shaking out some limbs, all right? We put a whole bunch of tension into our legs. We put a whole bunch of tension into our hips. We're going to shake out as much tension as possible. So what I want you to do is flop those ankles, get them loose. Just let them wiggle, let them shake, flop them around, send them flying. And if your ankles are flopping, that means your calves have to also therefore be relaxed, because the calf muscle lets you do this thing, right? Point your toes, flex your feet, and stuff like that. So if your ankles are flopping, your calves are probably loose, and the muscles around your calves are also probably loose, and those muscles are starting to loosen out. I want you to flop that leg around like it is an overcooked noodle and shake out a whole bunch of tension. Let's go. Other side. Again, ankles are loose. Relax them. Shake out the tension. Have your calves relaxed, have your ankles relaxed, and drop the leg entirely so it's almost straight into the ground. You can lean your body sideways so that your leg can be super lazy, and shake, 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 shake out that tension. Once, at least knee down, your legs are super relaxed, we're going to move on to some hip stuff. I want you to stand and put all your weight into your leg, one leg again. I want you to drop the big toe of the other foot down. And I want you to bring the knees in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. If it looks like a dance move, this absolutely can be a dance move. You can make it as fun as you'd like. But what we're doing is we're focusing on the muscles in the hip. We're bringing the leg in and out and in and out. Notice the hips are not moving. The rest of the body is not moving. We're just mastering a couple of muscles here around this leg area. Okay? When you get real good at this, you can make it smooth, and you can slide, you can turn it into some stanky leg. You can do the other side, combine it together. Or you can just focus on doing some dance moves, all right? It's okay, everything's cool. Once you've shooken out those hips, you've had a little bit of movement in, we can demonstrate slightly more advanced relaxation, all right? Put that toe into the ground. There's almost no weight in this leg. You can start shaking really hard, really fast, and this whole leg starts turning into jello. Your quad muscles start flopping all over the place, and that is a very, very fancy, crazy version of what we were doing before. You don't have to get there. You don't have to do this ever, but know that it's possible, and you can get your legs to turn to jello and flop around, and that is relaxation, which is our goal, all right? We're ready to move on. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. That's 1.5 footsteps for most people, and let's begin. Open up those legs nice and wide. If you remember approximately where you were before, go ahead and get into that position. If your hips are hurting, you have gone too far, bring your legs in just a little bit. And we're folding, bringing that belly button down into the ground. Fold, 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 fold. From here, try your best to get your hands on the ground. If you can't reach, if you can't get stable, feel free to use a stool, use a chair, use something, coffee table, to help support your weight a little bit. Cool? From here, we're going to do the most important part of this whole entire live. We are going to externally rotate this leg. Right now, the feet is flat on the ground. What we want is rotate the leg back just a little bit to this position. Boom! Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. And we want to do that with both legs. Boom! I'm going to bring that stool in the center so that I'm actually in a position where I don't fall. From here, we're ready to continue. We've rotated our thigh bones so they're out of the way of our hip bones, so nothing is holding us back from a split other than our muscles. So do a little wiggle from side to side, slowly drift deeper into your stretch. If your hands are on something, use that to help slowly bring you into a deeper stretch. Do a little wiggle left, wiggle right, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you don't need the stool, you don't have to use it. Just whatever is comfortable, easier for you to control. And at this point, if you're close enough to the wall to rest your butt on the wall while in this position, go ahead and try that. That will help you sit back, sit up a little bit more upright. You'll feel more of a stretch in your hamstrings. And if that's too far and you can't go there, that's fine too. You can stay normal. If your hands are walked forward, you'll feel more of a stretch in your inner thigh muscles. If your hands are further back underneath your hips, you'll feel more of a stretch in your hamstrings. And we need a little bit of both. So you can do whatever variation you feel like. All right? That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30. 29. 28. 27. 26. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's enough. Walk your hands forward, crawl on the ground, lay down if you want, bring your legs in. Oh, grunt, groan. Again, make as many sound effects as you need to. This is not easy, and you can complain as much as you want. I can't hear you anyway. All right, let's come back into standing when you can and shake out our legs. Relax those muscles as much as we can, and then get into round 3 and wrap this up. Shake, 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 shake. Again, let the ankles flop all over the place. When they are doing whatever the heck they want, the muscles up the chain are also going to be relaxed because they have to move super fast to accommodate whatever it is that your ankle's trying to do. All right, so turn those legs into floppy, overcooked noodles and switch when you're ready. You realistically only need 5-10 seconds on each leg. That will be plenty, so you can stop whenever you feel like it. Whew. All right, time for some hips. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe on the other foot is down. We're shaking out those legs. Shake, 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 shake. Stanky leg, stanky leg, stanky leg. Other side. Shake, 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 shake. Stanky leg, stanky leg, stanky leg. Combine both of these together. Make it fun. Dance. And if you want, you can also do the crazy leg shake. Hold on. I gotta solve a puzzle for TikTok real quick. I usually always fail on that first attempt. Oh, I got it on the first attempt. Finally. It's like a 1 in 3 chance these days. And now our legs are shaking out. Let's get into our third and final side split. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. For most people, that will be 1.5 steps. Maybe 1 step if you got big feet. From here, we're opening up our legs nice and wide. If you're feeling a tension, pain, pinching here in the hips, you've gone too far, bring your legs in just a little bit and we're ready to fold. Focus on that belly button, bring it down into the ground. Stick your hands down on the ground. If you can't reach, if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can elevate your hands. And with that, we're ready to do the most important part of this whole show. We're rotating this leg back so the bones don't smash into each other. It's just the muscles holding you back. And what that means is we're taking this foot from this down flat, regular foot standing position. We're rotating the whole leg back so that the toes are pointing up, the heels are down, the knees are pointing up, and we're doing it on both legs. That's me. Do the other one. Boom. From here, we're basically in a side split position. Now, all we got left is depth. All right? Do a little wiggle from side to side. Squirm, squish. Try and get deep into your stretch. Breathe, relax. I don't know. If you feel like you need a fart, you can do that too. Whatever, I don't mind. We put you in crazy positions. Your body can do whatever it needs to do, all right? From here, I think we're about ready. I think I explained everything in the previous 2 rounds. So, let's go. 30 seconds, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. If you're close enough to the wall to have your butt rest against the wall, take off some of that burden so you can sit up a little bit straighter so you don't have to lean forward to stick your hands into the ground. Go ahead and give that a try. See how that feels on your hamstrings. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Crawl. Slowly bring your legs in. It should feel way worse than the first time around because your legs are way more tired than before. And when you finally get into a relatively comfortable position, take a second to breathe, chill, lean against something, and that's pretty much the meat of our life. We're going to do a little bit more relaxation. We're going to do a couple more joint checks, and then we will be done. How are we doing on time? What? We're already 5 minutes past the hour. What the heck? Okay, let's go. Come on into standing. Shake out that ankle. Shake out those calves. Shake out those legs. Turn into jello. And we've been talking about turning your leg into an overcooked noodle, but at this point, since we're done, you can shake out your arms too, all right? I want you to imagine you're at the car dealership, or maybe you're just driving past the car dealership, because who wants to be there? And you are one of those balloon things with the fan in there going wee and flopping around all over the place, all right? That's what we want. Maximum relaxation. You got no bones, no tension in that body. Other leg, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 flop. If you haven't shaken out your wrists, they've been holding up a lot of body weight, right? So give them a little T-Rex handshake, wee. And if your, I don't know, forearms and elbows need a little bit of love, you can imagine that you're turning your arms into propellers, or like a little plane, and that will help just introduce a little bit of movement, work those elbows, work those joints a little bit, and let's move on to some hips. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down, we're rotating the leg in and out and in and out. I always say the opposite direction of what I'm actually doing, and I don't know how it could be this hard because I can see myself in the camera. But in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, pick up the pace, turn it fast, get into that crazy wiggle shake mode. And if you want, you can do some stanky leg. Make it fun, make it graceful. You already worked on those muscles. You can at least make it look cool, right? So let's go. Other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Remember, this is all about relaxation. It's about having fun, enjoying what you're making your body do. Bring your legs together and have fun with it. Because when it's fun, when it's enjoyable, it's much easier to practice consistency, and that's what we care about. I think that's everything. Let's get into our joint checks so that we can wrap up. First thing we're going to do is some nice and slow hip circles. Slowly go through that full range of motion. See what needs to be stretched in those hips. When you're leaning back, you might feel it in the hip flexors. When you're leaning to the side, you might feel it in the outside of each of these hips. And, of course, us old people in our low backs, you might be feeling it there, okay? From here, if you need to give some extra time, some extra attention, any particular place, go ahead and spend a little bit of time just wiggling and shaking over where that attention is needed. I tend to feel a whole bunch of stretch in the left and right side of the hip after the side splits, so I like to just casually lean and flop around over here. Usually, if I lean a lot more, I get a little bit of an oblique stretch while I'm working on those hips, and that's nice. All right, next up, we're going to do a quick high knee. If your knee comes up, we can move on. Next, we are focusing on our toes, our feet, our balance. We're going to try and get all of the muscles in our lower body to coordinate well together, balance. And what I want you to focus on for now is spreading out your toes, getting them like your fingers, whoosh, spread out. Your toes can do that, and most of us don't. So I'm giving you a chance to do it right here, all right, with the rest of us. From here, I want you to pop into a little bit of a squat and fold your chest down towards your knees, all right? When you're doing that, your upper body is going to be leaning way far forward, so you're going to feel like you want to fall forward a little bit. This is where your toes kick in. Your toes should be gripping into the ground, keeping you stable, keeping you from falling forward. Great job, toes. When your toes are doing that, your feet, the arch of your feet, should also be working and holding you up, all right? From here, I want you to point your knees way past your toes. You're going to feel a whole bunch of stretch here in the Achilles tendon, in the calves. They should be working real hard. If you poke them, they should be nice and firm to confirm that, they're working. And your quads are probably crying at you because they're like, why are we holding this? Is there a purpose to this? And there is a purpose. We're going to do a couple of really quick calf raises. I want you to imagine all of your weight is along that inside edge of your foot, and you're putting all of that weight just underneath your big toe, okay? We are going and doing a calf raise. Whew. If you're a little bit off balance, it's okay. Keep on coming up, doing those calf raises. Keep on leaning forward, push those knees forward, and if you need to, you can put your hands down for balance. do a couple of these, 3, 4, 5, as many as you want. As you get really tired and stop wanting to do them, you can stop. What we were doing was making sure our toes were working well with our feet, working well with our Achilles tendon, with our calves, with the rest of whatever else is going on in our ankles, in our knees, quads, hips, low back, and then making them all work together a little bit with a bunch of calf raises where you were a little bit off balance. Okay? If you were able to pull those off, more or less, kind of, you're probably in a good spot. Your bones, your muscles, your joints, your tendons are probably working pretty decent together. And with that, we are wrapped. Thank you so much for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits with me today. We just wrapped 71 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. If you like the show, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to practice the most valuable characteristic, consistency. And the show is mostly the same every single day. Maybe I tell slightly different jokes. Maybe I focus on other things on any given day. But the goal is, once you learn the flow, once you start figuring out the exercises, we get into the exercises, we do the work, and then we enjoy the benefits. All right? Is there anything else I need to talk about? I make a bunch of other content. Most of the time, I'm trying to spread good vibes about fitness. If you got 2 minutes to wait for your ramen to cook, to soften in boiling water, then you got 2 minutes to get a little bit of exercise in right there in the kitchen. And we have done a whole bunch of stretches on the floor that last about 30 seconds, and you know how much suffering you can put yourself through. So don't sleep on those 2 minutes. You got plenty of time to get a mini workout in, and those mini workouts, they add up because you got lots of these little tiny minute, 2 minute chunks throughout the day. If you got something cool that you're trying to work on, like your pull-ups, there is a technique called Grease the Groove, GTG, and that whole entire concept is just busting out a couple of pull-ups whenever and doing a lot of them, but never feeling like you're super exhausted, you're super tired, right? So very different from the normal way we tend to imagine exercise, doing 3 reps of 8. And the way that works is it trains your brain to be more efficient rather than just building as much muscle as possible. Slightly different mechanisms, but those are all good things. Moving better, moving easier. That's what I want for you, and that's what I want for me too. That's why we do the side splits live. I can't do them, right? So we do them live together to get them together. All right, that's enough. I was kneeling for too long. My knees are tired. Now I got a stool, and I'm gonna come check the chat. Alexander over on YouTube says hello. Hello, hello. CK Flash 17 says, I'm the only person in your live stream. For a moment in time, that was probably true. That is because YouTube is definitely the quieter of the 2 platforms that I live stream on. The other live stream platform I'm using is TikTok, and usually it's doing pretty hot. And now I'm gonna review those comments. Quinn R says hello. Alexander says hello. Hello, hello, everybody. Hope you're still around. And if you got questions, of course, throw them in the chat. Got comments? I am here to read them. Christine Lowe 97 says, thanks a lot. You're very welcome, Christine. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out. Christine says, all the body parts are burning. Great. That is, I don't know, I guess that's a little tiny bonus. The rest of the show isn't super like, ooh, muscle building, burn-ish. So at least we get to end with 30 seconds of making all of your leg muscles go, what the heck is this? Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. All right. Ant Does Art says thank you. Good to see you, Ant. Josh Tree says thank you. Good to see you, Josh. And I'm going to scroll up. Che sends a whole bunch of hearts. Thank you, Che. And let's keep scrolling. Miss Cat is a longtime watcher and rising star in your life. Oh, wait, this is so cute. I think these are new notifications. I don't think I've seen them before. Swish Meister is a longtime watcher and rising star in your life. This is cool. And wavy hair is a rising star in your life. I don't really know what a rising star means. I'm going to have to go Google this later. But I appreciate you guys for being here. And I appreciate TikTok's just telling me that everybody's a longtime watcher and rising star. JNYC335. Okay. I'm going to scroll real quick and see if there's anything else I need to respond to so that you guys can go do whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right. Chareth says, thanks, Ken. Welcome back, Chareth. Good to see you. Thank you. Out here, Olivia says, my knee hurts. LOL. Okay. I think the LOL at the end implies that you just are uncomfortable and not that you are, in massive amounts of pain. So, hopefully you're okay. Kilmar says, thanks, Ken. Thanks, Kilmar. And we are scrolling. Che is reminding us that I do Q&A at the end. I'm going to scroll up and see what is going on. Amanda Santos says, why you do this? Why I do this? Is that specific to a exercise, or is that my like actual philosophy towards exercise and why I do this show? I'll since I don't know what exercise you're talking about, I guess I'll do the philosophy question. For a long time, I've wanted to do side splits because I, like 15 years ago, took some dance classes and I was like, holy cow, these people with their crazy jumps and throwing their legs up into the air, that is badass. I want to be able to do that. And pretty much every like New Year's from that moment on, I thought I was going to train for some side splits and I was going to get them that year. Lo and behold, it's been more than 15 years and I have not gotten them, and I'm still working on them. But after probably twice a year, so 30 times of starting and quitting working on my side splits, I decided it was time to get my act together and really focus on consistency, because that was the hardest part, right? Like I can sit there, I can Google, watch YouTube videos, create a plan for 6 hours on New Year's Eve, but then by like the second week of January, I'd have like stopped doing it. And yeah, I was just bad at being consistent. And I imagine that that's true for most people. It's not easy to start something new, something where you just sit down on the floor and you suffer the whole entire time, and then you're sore for a while, and then you just don't want to move after that, to keep going and keep doing the thing, right? So about a year ago, I decided it was time to really get serious about this one thing that I've been failing twice a year for 15 years, and work on something that I could do daily and turn it into like something that just is me, that is part of my life. And one of the ways that I figured to practice accountability is tell the internet that I'm gonna do it live, and if it's live, then I have to show up, right? Like I can't just pretend that I did my side splits. I have to be here. And so slowly over the course of several months, and at this point I guess a year and change, it's become a show that's more than just me. We got a bunch of people who are super regulars. Che, Ganausti, Gaeta. At this point, we have a whole bunch of regulars that are coming in the last couple of lives, I think. Kat. I just named off a whole bunch of names that are rising stars. I'm not sure what that means, but maybe those people are super regular as well. That's what that suggests. And that's where we're at. We do these lives every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to help everybody practice a little bit of consistency, for me to build a little bit of community. And hopefully, in a couple more months, we grow this big enough that I can focus on it more. And we can make an even cooler, better community around practicing consistency, working on our fitness in a wholesome way and not super bro-y and make you feel bad, right? Yeah, that's it. Okay. I hope that answers your question. And if it doesn't, then ask me another question. Out here, Olivia says, you have strong ankles. I do this show every single day, and I have done this show at least, or some version of this show, at least like 450 times. So if it seems like I got pretty strong muscles or I'm pretty good at any of these things, it's because I've done a lot of days. So I would argue that I'm probably not a very fast like flexibility gainer. I don't know if that sentence actually makes sense, but I would argue that I develop a little bit slower than I was expecting, for sure. And I say this because I want you to know that it's okay to be slow. If you put in the time, you give your body time to adjust, you're probably going to do good anyway. Out here, Olivia says, Kim, I said the same thing. I don't know what... Oh, is Kim an autocorrect to Ken? Ken, I said the same thing. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the sentence. Kim Green says, bad pain in my hips and legs. Oh, Kim. Okay, that's Kim. Hi, Kim. Bad pain in my hips and legs. Bad pain in my hips and legs. I honestly have no idea where this happened in the live. If you let me know in the chat at the bottom what exercise we were doing, I would be able to maybe give you a couple more adjustments that might help. Out here, Olivia says, my hip feels too tight. Oh, man. Okay. This happened after the warm-up, because I see out here, Olivia says, that's the warm-up? Okay. I'm going to scroll up one more time and see what else we got. Oh man, Olivia is so excited. I love it. Thank you, Olivia. Lisa G3115 says, not sure if I can follow him though. He is advanced. One of the reasons why I talked about doing some version of this show live 450 days in a row is because the same instructions that I give you guys on the live are basically the exact same instructions I've used for this whole entire show. All right. There were many points at which my butterfly did not come all the way down flat on the ground. There are lots of points where my chest didn't come to my knee. In fact, my hamstring stretch was the worst stretch of the whole entire group at one point. And all of that progress has come slowly over time doing that daily work. So if you feel like, oh no, this guy is like too good, I promise all of the proof, all of the change that's been happening has been happening on the live. This live already runs like an hour plus every single day and has been approximately that for 5 or 6 months. I don't have time to be stretching more outside of this show. So it happens literally here, and all of the change is happening here, except for like 3 weeks where I tried really hard to get deeper into the stretch, and then my hips started hurting and I was really struggling to do the live. So I was like, nope, can't do that because the live is more important. Anyways, don't be discouraged by how impressive or not impressive the stretches might look when I'm doing them. I promise the exact same instructions that I give you has basically been virtually unchanged since 6 months ago. And Che has been here since November. Che, you tell him. Are the instructions basically the same? I try to like make it a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun as I like spread things in, but mostly it's the same. So you got this. You don't need a different show, or you don't need a different workout. This one will work. Will it be the fastest way to get into your side splits? Probably not. If you wanted the fastest way to get into your side splits, you'd probably want like more time to recover. You'd probably want a more intense workout. You'd probably want a couple of other things. But I say this a lot. The most important quality is consistency. I have worked on those side splits with the more impressive, like the most effective, the best technique where you make your muscles hurt really hard and you're sore for like 3 days afterwards. That soreness does not help you stay consistent. It makes you want to quit. So if you develop a little bit of consistency here, you build a strong base and you want to go try something more advanced, by all means, go ahead and try those more advanced techniques. And I wish you all the best. But if you're trying to stay consistent, you're trying to make a little bit of progress, I think this live in this format is going to be really helpful for you. And if you disagree, you can go find another show. But, you know, I'm here. I'm hanging out. All right. Kay says, how long usually live for? I've been trying to get this live back down to 45 to 60 minutes. And somehow I keep on finding myself wrapping the live at around 90 to 100 minutes. The last 20 or so minutes tends to be just Q&A, chit-chatting after the stretches. But yeah, usually the meat of the stretching is done in the first hour. If you can't stay for that duration of time because, you know, you got a life, I understand. I've made a shorter version of this video where we don't spend as much time setting up the stretch. We just jump into it and go for our 30 seconds. And that video is about 15 minutes long. That is on YouTube. The YouTube username is at splits on the side, and it's the same username as on TikTok. And it should be one of like the 6 or 7 long form, like normal YouTube videos. And it's about 15 minutes. So if you want a quicker version of the show, that should work. There's no talking, there's no explanation. We just get into the stretch and we hold the stretch for basically exactly 30 seconds. So it gets compact because I don't talk. It also gets compact because we don't spend as much time setting up to get into a deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper stretch before we start counting. So that's the difference. And if you need that, that's available. Cool. All right. I'm going to scroll all the way down back to the bottom of the chat because I've been rambling for a while and I've asked for some information and clarifying questions. So let's see where we are with that. We got a whole bunch more Rising Star stuff. Longtime watchers and Rising Star. Juan Gomez. Welcome, welcome. Oh my God. Zay says getting off? Question mark? I don't know what that means. I'm still here. I'm almost gone though because we're almost out of comments to respond to. I think actually that was the last. Hold on. Can I read? I have a whole bunch of lights on. They're super bright, so my eyes get really tired by the time I get to the end of the live, and reading gets hard. User 1324725092754 says, "Oh my god. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Love all stressing. I appreciate it. I hope I didn't stress you out too much. I'm pretty sure you're saying stretching, just with a typo. But if you actually like stressing, I hope I'm not stressful." Okay, that, I think, is everything. That's the whole life. That is the chat. I keep on scrolling too aggressively and the whole phone starts shaking violently. My bad, guys. I hope you don't get nauseous staring at the phone. That's it. We're done. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits with me today. We are wrapped. It's about 86 minutes into the live. I hope you had fun. I hope after all the Q&A, you've cooled down, you're getting loose, you're floppy, and you're ready to relax and go to bed. Alex just came in and liked the live. Hey, Alex, how you doing? All right. I'll see you guys in 22 and a half hours tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Pressed guy says, must be attention. Yes, this is a tiny, tiny baby stool. And I recommend it because it's super useful for doing things like this. Giving yourself a little bit of support on the ground. Because when you don't have it, you gotta be like leaned really far deep into the ground, and it requires a little bit more flexibility. Oh, I'm falling backwards. Whew. Okay, that's it. We're done. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alex says, safe travels. This is gonna be the spot I'm gonna be in for the foreseeable future. So the travels are over. Thank you though, Alec. Yeah, this is the spot. Cool. All right. Now I'm officially wrapping. Goodbye. Goodbye. Have a great evening. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.